When I was in law practice, before I worked at Western Center, I represented Wells Fargo. And today my husband represents Wells Fargo. So it's sort of a double whammy, and I'm sorry, but I have to recuse myself.
All right, so we will wait briefly for Councilmember Henwich to exit.
Can I make a suggestion, Sue? Just 1 second. Were you planning on coming back for 13D?
Yeah, do I have a problem?
Can I move that we switch it so she can just go home then? If we've got 25 speakers, that's an hour.
She's got T and E.
Oh.
What's the?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think these people have been waiting here all night.
Yeah,
long.
no,
Okay,
I'm
that's
fine.
fine. Okay,
It's
that's fine.
but thank you very much.
Take some food with you.
Candy, what
All
does I
right,
need a little?
so Councilmembers Dana Vasquez, who would like to introduce this item?
I'll start, I guess, and then I'm sure Councilmember Vance. So, in light of, for me, it's been more of a history with Wells Fargo. Looking back at some of the practices they've had over the last at least 25 years that I've been interacting with that specific bank. And I think they've had some real bad practices with many of our homeowners, dating back to when the Century Freeway came through on the 105 freeway. Many of those folks that lost their homes through this predatory lending, one of the leading banks on that was Wells Fargo, as an example. And then just recently, some of the practices that we've seen and heard about, where they were just creating these accounts that folks weren't even aware of it, and then to find out that they were getting charged and fees on these folks because there was such an incentive for the banks, the corporate banks, to get their staff to create more both checking accounts and other accounts that exist within the bank. And now the most recent one that comes to light, which I know most of the folks here in the audience today are going to be speaking to, is their practices on some of these environmental injustices that they're doing in Dakota. So for me, I'd like to see what we can do to explore other options that we have as we bank, as we do services with some of these corporate banks that are a little bit more responsive.
Councilmember Day?
Yeah, I'll just add that we have a great number of people out here to speak, so to be brief, if you're paying any attention to national media today, and in fact global, you know that one of the most substantive and symbolic fights for our future is happening today at Standing Rock over the Dakota Access Pipeline. And it is a fight over sovereignty and respect of Native people. It's about the respect of humanity and the future of humanity. And the movement to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline has begun to target its sources of capital. Wells Fargo is a key lender to the project, and 2 other cities on the West Coast now have decided to divest and to stop doing business with Wells Fargo. This item before us would consider doing the same here in Santa Monica, as we have a significant relationship with Wells Fargo. The demonstration of support here today is so inspiring, and it is a Valentine's Day for the next 3 minutes. We have all of these folks showing up, and I want to encourage people to show their support because it is late. I think we all know, importantly, what side most folks will be speaking on. But also keep in mind that while we're asking folks here to stay as late as we have, keep in mind that it is probably right now below freezing in Standing Rock, and there are people fighting every day for this cause. So I hope that we'll be able to direct our staff to develop a plan to make divestiture happen, to cut our business practices with Wells Fargo, and to bring us in line with our investment policies that we adopted as a city. We have adopted a policy that is governed by 350.org's list of companies that we cannot invest in our holdings, but it has not yet been applied to financial institutions. This new effort that's represented by the activists who are fighting against Dakota Access Pipeline would take us to the next generation of implementing our values with our business relationships and the way that we invest our dollars.
All right, and with that, we will open the,
I'll stay as long as I can, but I probably have to leave about 12:30, so.
all right.
We'll be down to 5.
Okay, so we will open the public input. We'll start with Linda Pierre-Avia, Valerie Bischoff, Desmond O'Regan, and Lydia Ponce. If you heard me, we could go line up against the wall over there in orders. Hear everybody expeditiously. Welcome.
Thank you, Santa Monica City Council members. My name is Linda Piero Avila. I live at 1424 12th Street here in town. I'm going to be reading a statement from a friend of mine, a Tongva elder named Gloria Ardayones, who could not be with us tonight. As follows: Santa Monica City Council. I am a Tongva elder. I reside in El Monte, California. Because the city of Santa Monica is within the Tongva tribal territory, I am submitting the statement to support and encourage your discussion and examination of the investment practices used in all city funds from Wells Fargo Bank as presented by Council Members O'Day and Vasquez. Wells Fargo has had problems with their financial practices recently. In addition, Wells Fargo is one of several banks that specifically funds the Dakota Access Pipeline in North Dakota, where treaty issues, sacred sites, and burials are under attack. This pipeline will eventually take oil to the Gulf of Mexico and be exported overseas. It has already been determined that it will not provide permanent jobs in large numbers and will leak, as it already has, causing environmental devastation to water, land, and animals, including human health issues. We as a country must break our dependency from the fossil fuel industry and protect our natural resources, the air, the water, our beautiful Mother Earth, the animals, and most importantly, our children, our grandchildren, and all our future generations. It is my and many others' hopes the Santa Monica City Council will vote to divest from Wells Fargo Bank and send them the message that the funding of pipelines is the past and that there are clean forms of energy. I thank you for the opportunity to provide these words and support for Standing Rock and no Dakota Access Pipeline. Gloria Ardayones, Tongva Elder. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bischoff?
Hello, City Council members. Thank you for taking the time to consider this very important topic. I'm a Santa Monica resident, and I'm here to urge you to consider divesting all city funds from Wells Fargo due to their fraudulent business practices and funding of the Dakota Access Pipeline. I visited Standing Rocks twice as a filmmaker, and I was appalled to see and hear stories of blatant disregard for human rights in the name of private profits. Doctors, lawyers, musicians, teachers, people just like you and me that want their children to be able to drink the same water that they drink now, have been jailed and brutalized for exercising their First Amendment rights and their treaty rights. All this to further dirty energy that contributes to climate change. When I returned from Standing Rock for the first time, I decided to move my personal finances out of Bank of America, which is another bank that's funding the pipeline. If we really want to see a greener world of greater equity and justice, we have to put our money where our values are. I know that the city of Santa Monica shares my values, and that's why I'm proud to call myself a Santa Monica resident. Thanks to the forward-thinking decisions of this council, Santa Monica already leads the way in sustainability, human rights, and environmental best practices. Your commitment to building a better world is reflected in the council's recent decisions to turn the airport into a park, working to address homelessness, and improving policies that value diversity, a greener future, and well-being. Divesting from the Dakota Access Pipeline is an opportunity for the city of Santa Monica to stand with other forward-thinking cities and lead the way in creating innovative ways to finance city governments that will help build a better world for us all. We can't let Seattle and Davis show us up. Let's do this.
Thank you. Desmond already?
Lydia Ponce, Venice resident.
I had a Desmond Reagan.
Oh.
Here.
He's behind me.
Hi, thank you for staying so late. I just want to say I was born down the street at St. John's Hospital, down the street, and I live in Burbank now, but I'm here to speak to you about the Dakota Access Pipeline. And while I was waiting out there, while you guys talked about God knows what, all I could think about was how beautiful the city was and how you could see everywhere that it puts people first. The parks, the pedestrian walkways, the bike paths, everything. And the fact that we're here tonight at midnight talking about this. And it's really impressive. And I just really want to say thank you for considering this. And I hope that, you know, other small towns like maybe Los Angeles might follow your lead. So thank you.
Thank you. And hold on 1 second, Ms. Ponce, where I call a few more names. Emiliano Martinez, George.
That's on Martin Valley, Los Angeles.
And Eric Tobias. Welcome.
Thank you. We'd stay here however long it would take because we have many people who have suffered greatly at Standing Rock, and even the ones who have returned home are still decompressing from the trauma that they suffered in order to protect the land and the water, and additionally the people that reside there. It is there's no amount of love or prayer that could even measure the artillery that is used to defeat those prayers, but we still stand strong, and I stand strong before you because I have my family and my friends here. The fact is that those pipelines all across the United States, Canada, Mexico, and all around the world are connected to man camps, and approximately 2,000 employee men are responsible for the violence that is caused against Indigenous women, murdered, missing, and when they're found dead, their relatives, women who have been sexually assaulted and abused over and over by several of those men. So this travesty, this crime, this act against, it's inhumane, it's a crime against humanity. It's tied into the money that's sitting in Wells Fargo and all these other great corporations that fuel capitalist nations. So what I'm asking is that you put the women first. It's to put your mother first, your grandmother, your sister, your niece, your daughters. You put them first, you put the money into a credit union. Not only will you sleep better, we'll know where our daughters are, where our sisters are. So I'm asking you as a woman, as a grandmother, to please do that for us, because you'll be standing with us as you sit, but you'll be standing with us. It'll mean so much to everyone, from here to Standing Rock and back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for taking the time to hear us out, and we applaud you for even considering this motion. This will really give us energy, give us the will to keep going on and go from city to city, pulling the money out from these banks that are supporting the pipeline. And so if you could please pass this resolution today, or whatever you do divest, it's going to bring great encouragement to our movement and to those people that have been there on the front line. I've been up to Standing Rock. I saw it for myself, and the people don't want it there. It threatens the water, and we can't support these kind of projects that are threatening the future generations to come. It's not our world anymore. It belongs to the generations to come, 7 generations to come. And we must keep that in mind when everything we do and say here today. So thank you with that, and pass that resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. George?
Mitake ape, chante washte na pe chauz ape. Omu haduta imach ape, mini wakam eate tohawahi, kupina kingaide, hunchi kara chawanje. I greet all of you in my indigenous tongue. I am a Dakota Sioux from Spirit Lake, North Dakota, and also a member of the Ho-Chunk Nation of Wisconsin. And today I come to you and ask that you divest from Wells Fargo, because Wells Fargo funds indigenous genocide. And we are protecting the water, we are protecting the land for our children. We want our children, our great-grandchildren to have water. So we ask you to respect indigenous people for once. I was sad to see the murals in front of the City Hall. When you first walk in, there's a picture of Juanapero Serra, and indigenous people are at their feet, like some subservient kind of degrading image of indigenous people at the foot of the Europeans, the conquistadors. The Juanapero Serra is responsible for indigenous genocide in California. So all that is connected to the pipeline, because this pipeline was supposed to originally go through Bismarck, North Dakota, and Bismarck, North Dakota is the majority of the population is white people. So the white citizens didn't stand for that. So they moved the pipeline to an Indian reservation down south. So this pipeline, represents a lot of things, white privilege, and all of you are white men, white people. So you have a responsibility to reconcile what your ancestors did to my ancestors. So you have a chance to make amends to the original people of this land. And you all benefit, your children benefit. So I ask you to stand in solidarity with indigenous people for one time, and let's be proud of Santa Monica that they stood with the indigenous people. So I thank you for your time, and we talk that's it. Aho.
Aho. Erica White? And hold on, Erica, while I call a few more names. Roberto Villarreal, Chris Gutierrez, Jonathan Foster, and Justine Morrison.
Good evening.
I'm sorry, who are you? Erica White.
I'll make this quick. I think that Santa Monica is in a place right now to be a leader and to use your money as your vote. And the public has made it very clear that we do not want this pipeline, that we would descend into chaos if we were all cut off from water, and water is life, water is the first medicine, and we need to protect that in any way we can. I also saw the mural out in the lobby, and I find it really offensive, and I think that action should be taken to replace that mural. I'm a paint job, give you a good deal.
All right. Thank you. Roberto, you're up.
Good evening. My name is Roberto Villarreal. I was born and raised in Watts. I have a passion for the Indian people, the birds of this land, the people that showed the Anglo-Saxon how to survive on this land and still their genocide. I'm here to beg and plead for you guys to divest. From Wells Fargo, I do listen to Democracy Now! Every morning, and it's heartbreaking to hear a lady being bit by a dog who had blood all over his mouth. Like it was mentioned earlier, mentioned that was one of your daughters, your mom, your grandmother, being attacked by a dog by people whose rights has been trampled on by generation by the Anglo-Saxon white man. Their burial sites are being destroyed. They're being tortured with power holes at freezing weather already. They're using militant tactics on them, and the missing women are just like missing women from Paris. They're being found raped and murdered, and I would like for you guys to divest. Think about the future of the water. If they build this pipeline, eventually the whole ocean is going to be contaminated, bottom line. So thank you, that's my point of view.
Thank you for your thoughts.
So I used to teach in South Central Los Angeles, and some of the most moving experiences I had with the young people were our studies of the indigenous. This is not a textbook situation. This is a life situation. And when we call upon each of our young people to understand they are historical beings, it is also to contend with how each of us can be colonized. Not only the indigenous, as you already heard, but our mindset as we feel in a capitalist society. I'm really gratified that this is on the agenda. I'm tremendously inspired by the morning breaking and all these people here with us to stand for what we can do so many thousands of miles away from Standing Rock. So please move this forward and demonstrate to the young people and all of us that our values are vivid in how we spend each moment and each coin that we have. Thank you.
I am Jonathan Foster. I am only a one-drop Choctaw Indian. So let's do this to all the banks. Is that okay? Or is it okay to just do this to Wells Fargo? Why not all the banks? Anything I'd say, they'll say, so I support this, but I'd like to bring it home here. The Tongva Indians Park over there should be given to the Tongva Indians. They should be able to do whatever they want with that park and be given more land. All Indians should enjoy no sales tax, no property tax, 15% commission on all land sales every time, 1% commission on all rentals per month. How did a real estate industry make so many billionaires? To do this, they had to murder the Indians off the land. Trump and his buddy Carl Icahn, all these real estate billionaires, what would 15% of Trump's $4.5 billion come to that should be paid to the Carnegie Lenape Indians of Manhattan? About $600+ million. So tremendous fraud is being committed against these people still. Full-blood speak of the murals depicting Indians. Isn't this the same thing the city is doing, trying to make itself look good? Making a park, calling it Tongva Indian Park? And why aren't we giving something real and substantial to these Tongva Indians? Where did I write that? Yeah, let's see here. Trying to make itself look good. Yeah, but never giving them anything real. Isn't that kind of sick to do? I mean, if we paid them the 15%, I mean, would they be broke and not having to be able to, do anything on the reservation, being kidnapped and raped? I mean, they would be able to protect themselves. They'd have $600+ million, all of the tribes. In Mississippi, it's the Choctaw Indians in Mississippi.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. Justine Larson? No, Justine Larson. I'm going to call some more names. If you could line up, please. Alex looks like Poe. It's hard to read. Paula Khan, Shannon Rivers, Chris Littlehawk, and Debbie Jones. Alex, did I call here?
Anybody else?
Well, let's just take someone.
Alrighty.
What's your name?
I'm Paula Khan.
Okay, welcome.
Hi everyone. So I'm Quiche Mayan, and I'm here to invite you all to take this wonderful opportunity to shift investments from Wells Fargo and other banks that are invested in the Dakota Access Pipeline. Between 2015 and 2016, there was 69 reported incidents of gas leaks and ruptures in pipelines that were ran by Energy Transfer Partners. And so that's, direct evidence that this isn't really something that has a really great return on the environment. So please consider that. We can't really function without water, so we're already seeing the grave effects of contamination in our resources. It's absolutely detrimental to our existence. We all want to exist, don't we? We want to have our children survive, and we want
our children to have children. So please consider how detrimental it is to our existence. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Alex here? All right, Shannon Rivers.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, or should I say good morning, council members. My name is Shannon Rivers. I'm from the state of Arizona, but I'm currently employed at UCLA and a student at UCLA. I don't think I need to talk too much about what I think already is going to happen, is that you will divest because you have the sanity and the humanity and the recognition and the respect for other human beings. And the reality is that we need to do this, not just for me or for you, but as mentioned, for all our children. We live in a time of xenophobia and racism and prejudices. And when it's most difficult for us to even honor people of color and people of color being arrested on the street, we have to face these fears. And that the reality is that we are here together. And that we want to make the world, the place, this place, better for our people, for all people. Not just people in North Dakota, but people here in Los Angeles. And I want to honor you as a committee, as a council, for all the beautiful work that you've done. I'm proud to live here. I'm proud to come to this place. And I'm proud of you for actually putting this on your agenda. Thank you so much for having us here tonight.
Thank you. Chris Woodall.
Hello, yes, Ferguson. Not much to speak of, but just let you guys know that in Warren Trump's Pine Ridge, South Dakota, Conservation Camp 344, what is happening in Dakota Access Pipeline again, what George has announced that Bismarck just sent it down there. And here's another thing that you guys should divest. Oil companies is a dying breed. But they're saying up there that 11 different oil companies have divested and went nothing to do there because of the Bakken oil field in North Dakota where all this is happening. Meaning all the oil is already drained out dry, and yet all these companies are still trying to do that. So again, they reported 708 spills, but the company only reports 20 spills, and that's in North Dakota alone since last year. Again, 11 companies don't want to have nothing to do with it because there's nothing in the bottom. Again, thank you guys very much. Be long and low. That's that.
Thank you. Debbie Jones? Hold on 1 second, Debbie. I'll call some more names. Walter Ruiz. Catherine. Guerrero Yaniz. Nick Inez. And Kaya Foster. Debbie, the floor is yours.
Good evening. I think we all realize what's going on at Standing Rock and with the pipeline is still wrong on so many levels, and you have an opportunity to make a very strong statement against it, and I hope you will take advantage of that.
Thank you. Walter Ruiz.
My name is Ray Wolf. I'm the director of AIM in Southern California. I've been to Standing Rock twice. I was on the front line every time. And it made me very angry to see my people treated in such a horrific manner. And I come here and I become disappointed because I was all ready to be angry, and now I hear two councilmen already saying pretty much what I wanted to say. So, after 55 years of being an activist, first time I'm disappointed. But in a good way, because I want to thank you guys for doing this. I was surprised that this was happening. I've always heard that Santa Monica was a very progressive city. I'm realizing how progressive because I have to be honest, I'm surprised. And in a very positive way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Catherine? Welcome.
Hello, my name is Catherine Guerrero, and I am a water protector, and I have been fortunate to have been to Standing Rock on 2 occasions, but I'm standing here as an educator. I was fortunate, I teach U.S. history and government, and so I always tell my girls that they have the power in their voice, and today I'm standing here for them because I'm using my voice to extend theirs. When the people speak, we hope it's so that our voices are heard. And unfortunately, Wells Fargo does not represent the voices of the people. It represents a corporation, it represents money, and unfortunately, it's representing a black snake that's gonna go through most of this country. It's gonna pollute this country, and by investing in a corporation like Wells Fargo is not listening to the people. That corporation listens to a small majority of the people who are making those profits for that bank. So again, like my colleagues here, I am grateful to hear that you are willing to listen on this, that you are progressive enough to consider this movement or this motion and to lead the way that, you know, you speak for the people, that you speak in the mind of, or in our intention of what we're hoping for. And so I hope you do make that decision based on hearing our voices and hearing our voices representing other voices and representing the voices of the people at Standing Rock who are still there, standing on those front lines, using their bodies, using prayer. We're fortunate to be in this nice room. I know it's late, but this is a much better environment than what those people are currently undergoing. And so I thank you for this time, and I thank you for this opportunity for us to use our voice and for you to listen. So thank you.
Oh. Thank you. Okay.
Good evening. Thank you for staying up with us. My name is Nick Giannis, and I'm with Bumpa Los Angeles. We're a social justice group. We deal with humanitarian issues. Anybody who's in need in this country, because we consider everybody, the family of this nation, deserves to be spoken for. We had opportunity to go to Standing Rock, and we went there with every great intention to help out people that were, we saw the coverage on the internet that wasn't getting any coverage in the media at that time. We went there to help them. But I can't explain to you how egregious the offense was on a humanitarian on a humanitarian level. I have never witnessed this kind of carnage. You know, as that word has been thrown around politically, the carnage on these people that belong to our country, that we belong to their country, and they were fighting with prayer, and you have really, and you only to be there to witness that kind of war on our land, and to have and to be humbled by the kind of passion that they have for all of us. And this is not a need just for this group of people, but these are the only group of people who are standing up for the need of America. So I ask you that are in a very poignant time, committees and councils like you that have the opportunity to take a stand and be on the right side of history as this passes us through the ebb and flow of oppression between peoples who cannot fight the people who own the land. I beg of you to stand up for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. And you're Kaya Foster? Yes. Hold on 1 second, I'll call some more names. Philip Downey, it's something Yellow Horse. Shiloh Yellow Horse? Chico? Vicky Webster, and Bruce Kemp. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
My name is Kaya Foster, and I've had the distinct privilege of living in Santa Monica since I was 8 years old. I also work here in the city with our young adults at the high school and the college. I'm so proud to be from Santa Monica because Santa Monica is deeply committed to pushing the limits of our imaginations, getting us to have a different perception of what a city can and should be. We are driven by our vision, and we understand that we exist not only for our constituents, but as a national and international leader, setting an example for other cities to follow. I teach high school and college students here in the city about sustainability, something I have the opportunity to do because of the vision of the city of Santa Monica, and I want to say thank you for that. I teach them about things like environmental degradation and resource conservation, but also about economics and social justice, because these are very important parts of what true sustainability is. And when any of these pillars is missing, we have to ask ourselves if we're truly sustainable individuals or a truly sustainable city. I therefore urge the City Council to begin the process of investigating the city's financial relationship with Wells Fargo and other such financial institutions. Our economics must not conflict with the values we hold so near and dear. The cities of Seattle and Davis have already begun this process, and though we're used to being number 1, I think number 3 will suffice. Especially in these challenging times, we must put our money where our mouth is. Thank you to the council persons who have brought this motion to existence.
Thank you. Philip Downing.
Mr. Chairman, these next two speakers are going to give up their time to honor you and the council with the song. And the song is about encouragement, and we encourage you to do the right thing.
That would be Mr. Downing and Mr. Yellowhorse, is that right?
That's correct.
Oh, we're not.
Hey!
top that.
Thank you, Mayor Winter. So back when NASA was allowed to study climate, remember those days? James Hansen of NASA said that it would be game over if much of the tar sands from Alberta and North Dakota are burned, such as would occur if the Keystone XL and/or the Dakota Access Pipeline are completed to feed refineries in Texas and in Illinois. I strongly urge the City of Santa Monica to move readily to divest itself from shady Wells Fargo due to its funding of the Dakota Access Pipeline and because of the widespread fraud related to accounts. And then please consider other divestments related to DAPL. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and then we'll now hear from Flavia Khan and then Saul Parrott.
He had his 1 minute, just 1 minute.
Who is he?
Well, it would be Dickie Webster, but we
Yeah, we kind of switched it up. Just 1 minute.
60 seconds.
All right, 60 seconds.
Thank you, council members. My name is Philip Downey, and last week I had the opportunity to spend some time with one of the elders who, his name was Abaleza, and he's from Sisseton, Washington, and his family carries a lot of traditional oral traditions, Woho Kukie, and he shared the story of how that confluence, the Cannonball River was named, and for Native people, the boulders that would fall through the rivers, and they would meet up at that right at where Cannonball was, and the force of the waves would turn into perfectly round stones. And I don't know if you've ever been around any really beautiful spiritual magic, but that's a part of our tradition that is alive in us. And people from all over the United States, medicine people, families, they would go to before these rocks. And one of the first things that the DAPL people did was to dig a hole going in the other direction, and now that river no longer makes those stones.
All right, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And Olivia Khan.
My name is actually Flavia Khan. Okay.
Sorry for making it.
I'm a long-time resident of Santa Monica, even though it doesn't really sound like it. But I just wanted to start off by saying something small but probably quite important, which is that we're all standing and mostly sitting on Tonga land right now. Just something to think about. I also wanted to thank Council Members Vasquez and O'Day for bringing this forward. It's really a happy thing. Santa Monica has long been a leader in sustainability, but to be a true leader in this field, we need to embrace all aspects of sustainability, and that does include investment. It seems Santa Monica has an opportunity, like Seattle and Davis before us, to lead in sustainable investments by removing financial attachments to Wells Fargo and thereby the Dakota Access Pipeline, a dangerous and immoral pipeline. Divesting from banks involved with the pipeline doesn't only show a strong commitment to protecting the environment, but it also stands as an important and necessary and overdue statement in support of the fundamental rights of Indigenous people. I really hope this divestment is the first step of a bigger movement to divest from all 17 banks involved in the Dakota Access Pipeline. In conclusion to this brief thing, I think the City of Santa Monica should conduct business with banks whose values align with our own and who fundamentally prioritize people and planet over profit every time. Unfortunately, I only found out about this motion recently. I didn't have much time to mobilize support, but I did get in touch with an old high school friend of mine who I organised bike to school days with. I don't know if you guys know about that. I was going to say 36 hours, but it's actually moving on to 38 hours that we found out about this. We managed to collect upwards of 400 signatures on a petition, which I'm not quite sure how to send to you, but I will. Just to show you that there's widespread support for this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saul Parrott.
Thank you, council members, for allowing me to speak on such a vital issue. I'm here to support the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation and most importantly to ask the City of Santa Monica to divest from any and all funds supporting the Dakota Access Pipeline. Divest from environmental racism that for some reason was not okay for the people of Bismarck and population, who is largely white, but it was okay to build near the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. Divest from setting a dangerous precedent of polluting not only the clean water of the Sioux people, but other hardworking citizens who depend on the vital sustenance that the river provides. Divest from the continuing oppression of these great indigenous nations who have historically faced continuing military aggressions, encroaching land grabs, destruction of sacred spiritual sites, as well as disregarding historical treaties and disregarding the sovereignty of these indigenous nations. Divest, divest, divest. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Suppose I should say this, most everybody here is newcomers to these chambers, but our council rules don't allow for applause, so if you hear something or see something you really like, do the jazz hands. See, thank you. That should conclude the public input, and so council members of the matters before us, Councilmember McEwen.
Why do we who cherish human values continue to place our assets in corporate banks? It's going to be very easy for me to vote in favor of this tonight, not only because of Standing Rock. I have been personally sued by Wells Fargo Bank for trying to protect the people of Santa Monica. About 17 years ago, we passed a law that would have limited the usurious ATM fees that Wells Fargo was charging. And they shut down their ATMs in Santa Monica to people who weren't their customers. That's how they treated Santa Monica. Then they went ahead and sued the city and sued me personally until we rescinded the law. So I have no love for Wells Fargo. And I'd also urge people to realize that while I think the city of Santa Monica is going to do the right thing tonight, if you're a Santa Monican, you can do the right thing too. If you have your money in a corporate bank, think about the options, okay? A few years ago, during the bank collapse, when people were quite angry with the corporate banks, they would come to me and say, well, can we get our money into a credit union? And at the time, there was a credit union here in Santa Monica that was open to Santa Monica City employees. And with a bit of encouragement, they have now become open to residents. They have an office at 6th and Santa Monica. If you'd like to get your money out of a corporate bank, you have that opportunity in Santa Monica. And if you'd like Santa Monica to get its money out of at least one corporate bank, I think you have that opportunity tonight. But I'll leave the motion to those who brought it to us.
Councilmember Vasquez.
First of all, I want to thank you, Mayor. I know you broke some rules here today by having these folks do the drum roll, and for many of the folks that I know overextended their time at the mics. When I had this conversation with Councilmember O'Day, our thinking was obviously to divest our interests with Wells Fargo, and I know we did get an email and a staff report, or I should say, it was more, I guess it was really an email from our CFO, Gigi, that I guess she's going to be coming back with some more information if we decide to move in this direction, because I know we have some obligations that we need to consider as we move forward, and that's all coming back to us, I believe, on the 28th. I guess I would like to move it and to see what our options are, to do as much as we can and as an expedient way. And I know some of these things might take a little bit of time because we probably have to RFP certain things to look at what our other options are, where we put our investments and our practices, our financial practices with other comparable banks in this city.
Councilmember O'Day.
Sure, I think I can build this motion for tonight. And I just want to start out by saying I was really tired when I started, but man, I feel energetic and connected. Thank you all. Thank you for your testimony. Wells Fargo is not the only bank that is funding Dakota Access Pipeline, notably Citibank, TD Securities. Wells Fargo is the biggest bank on this list that the city has a relationship with, and it has a pretty big relationship. In fact, over $1 billion in annual transactions for general services banking. And as a third-party trustee for our investment. And so I have a motion that's based on some of the input that we received from the staff, and maybe our city manager can help to modify it as needed. To begin with, we'd like to move to break the relationship between the city of Santa Monica and Wells Fargo Bank. We want to, the motion would require that we move to issue a new RFP for general banking services. That we immediately terminate the broker-dealer relationship for investment transactions that the city has with Wells Fargo. And on our February 28th meeting, our very next meeting, that we review our investment policy to consider financial services being included as part of our investment policy. We would also at that meeting review the options to sell the Wells Fargo bonds that are held by the city today, and discuss that at the meeting. And lastly, that the staff would prepare a press release to communicate this to the public to let other people know how they can join this movement.
I'll second that.
All right, moved by Councilmember O'Day, seconded by Councilmember Vasquez. City manager, like to speak to this?
Yeah, I think that staff wouldn't have any objection to the practicality of this motion, which is our concern, is simply to make sure that we can do this in an orderly way, as the other two cities are doing in an orderly way. Just clarification, immediately doesn't mean tomorrow morning on the work relationship, but as soon as is practical. And similarly, the issuing of a RFP is scheduled for spring of next year. We may be able to move that forward.
All right, any other discussion?
And I just want to also say that obviously there's a number of presumably legal documents that have to be looked at. And so it has to be done both orderly but appropriately, so as not to risk losses of city funds. So with that in mind, we obviously have to review any number of transactions that we have with Wells Fargo.
I think our next meeting offers us the opportunity to begin to consider some of those plans some more time.
All right, so we can do this by a voice vote. Can we? It says voice vote on my cheat sheet, but I'm thinking maybe this allows a whole lot of money. We probably should vote on it.
Much more specific.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do a roll call.
Let's do a roll call.
Councilmember O'Day?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis?
Yes.
Councilmember Vasquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Kim?
Yes.
And Mayor Winter?
Yes, so that carries 5-0, fortunately. So we'll move on to the next item. Oh, that's a lot of jazzing. Thank you all for staying up late tonight. Appreciate your perseverance. Hopefully you learned something from all the other stuff we talked about. Yes.
If somebody could let Councilmember come over the
Yes. There she is. And can we call 13D, please?
Sure.
This one should be easier.
13D is request of Councilmember Vasquez that the council authorize the use of council travel funds for attendance at the Friendship City Signing Celebration, March 8th through 15th, 2017 in Kazagawa, Japan, for the purpose of continuing our longstanding